Hey guys, I'm Rob Basin. This is Speaking Geek. It's been a long time since I've done a podcast, and I really don't get too often to talk about wrestling like I really want to. So I brought on two of my greatest and most important people who know wrestling. First out, guys, you've probably never heard Julian before, but you've read all his articles on TournamentMinds.com. It's Julian Cannon. He is my go-to wrestling guy. Julian, thank you for being here.
No problem, Robbie. It's a pleasure.
All right, and of course, as always, if you ever go to AlternativeMinds.com, you see all this hard work going up, all these articles on a daily basis. You know pretty much, and not all me. All the press release stuff, Bill does this, and that's my guy, Bill Liston. Billy, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, really cool. First, Summerslam just ended, and Raw just happened, and we're right now, it's right before SmackDown. It's actually Thursday. Tonight's Thursday, Impact Nitro, whatever you want to call it.
Impact Nitro?
Impact Nitro, Bill Watts era crap, 2001. But let me just let's not pick on TNA too much. But
okay. And
just kind of get into the fact that I do want to bring up some subject matter that we found out prior to SummerSlam and stuff that we just recently found out. So we're going to do a little newsy segment on wrestling. First I want to talk about, since we're starting to talk about TNA, is AJ Styles. The phenomenal AJ Styles, the emo raven AJ Styles. AJ Styles, the man who stayed with this. He is the Tommy Dreamer of TNA.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And right now, his contract is set to expire in September, and there has been no negotiation whatsoever. Now, first, we have to mention that, A, they do this a lot. They did this to Bobby Roode. They did this to Devon. So
Samoa Joe.
And they did Samoa Joe, that's right. They did do it to Samoa Joe. I forgot about that. And what happened? Oh, we'll wait, and then no one wants you anyway, so here's your contract. So why would you do this with AJ? Julian, let's go with you. What do you think TNA is even thinking by doing this kind of late waiting stuff?
I could say it has to do with Hogan, but then again, who is running the ship really? Is it Hogan? Is it Dixie Carter? Or is it Panda Energy? Who's controlling his contracts?
Who do we blame for this debacle?
Yeah, who do we blame for this? Like, if they can't come to an agreement, where is he going to go? I mean, if he goes to the WWE, I don't think he will adapt to that machine.
Well, that's a good question. Bill, what do you think about would you even think that WWE would want AJ?
I don't know. What do you call it? I mean, they have a ton of people already, and a lot of people they're just not using. So, what do you call it? I mean, I think he could go there and he can get his big payday. But what do you call it? I don't know what he would accomplish there more than, what he can accomplish somewhere else, like a TNA or like in New Japan or somewhere else.
Well, unfortunately, it's all about either pride or money, and that's always what it kind of boils down to nowadays. If WWE does take you, is he still going to be AJ Styles, or will he be Jim McCracken, or whatever, Husky Harris's little nephew, Skinny McGee,
Why not book him into the Wyatt family then? I mean, Matt Morgan's gone already.
Yeah. I mean, so Matt Morgan is no longer in TNA.
No longer.
It's so funny. I didn't realize he came back, and then you told me he came back, and I'm like, really? Who cares? See, I could see them taking Matt Morgan, WWE. They love those big guys. You know how they are so on the big guys. And Matt Morgan is not a bad wrestler by no means, but he's just nothing. Yeah. When he was the Blueprint, that was great. That was his one-time opportunity, and he missed the boat on it. Now, I know he goes to Japan a lot, so he could probably have a good career over there. Bill, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's not all about having wrestling skill. You could be the worst wrestler ever, and as long as you have, you can make it in the WWE. So, I mean, it's a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah,
of course. Biggie Langston, to be exact. But, Biggie has actually a decent amount of moves. He's actually quick on his feet. He can wrestle, and he's a big guy, but he has not shown anything yet.
No,
same thing, my problem.
But, like the last 7 months he's been there, it's been the same story with him week in and week out. Just that same look he has also.
Yeah, the haircut's got to go. But that's my problem when you go look at the TNA guys. Like, if AJ leaves and says, all right, screw you, WWE offered me a little bit more money than you, I'm going. And then they go and they go, well, you know what, we don't feel you're ready, we're sending you developmental. And then you go like, well, now we don't get AJ Styles at all.
Well,
And
I don't agree with that. What do you call it? If you're AJ Styles and you go to developmental, you're on Next or NXT. What do you call it? That's a good show. What do you call it? They got some good talents there.
Yeah, they
I've
do.
never seen it.
He can show them a lot of good stuff. And what do you call it? I mean, honestly, I don't think he has to go there because I think he's that good. But what do you call it? Honestly, if he went to WWE and got assigned to Next, honestly, I'd probably start watching it.
You know, actually, that could be a good move if they take some talent like that and bring him to a next show just to get him started. Then bring him into maybe U.S. title division or a intercontinental level.
Yeah, that's the
Because there's
thing.
no way they're going to put him in heavyweight championship. This is not happening. They barely want to give it to Daniel Bryan. They barely want to push any of those guys.
Well, what do you call it? They don't want to give it to Daniel Bryan, but I mean, what do you call it? We talked about Big E Langston. What do you call it? Not being able to, what do you call it? Just doing, I guess, this regular program that he's doing. So what do you call it? I mean, yeah, you have Daniel Bryan, but you also have Dolph Ziggler, who's another really good wrestler. And what do you call it? He keeps on trying to get to the top, and then he gets the title for a second, and then gets dropped down. It's like, shit, there's two guys that really deserve it. Give them the title rather than Del Rio or,
Yeah, whoever it be.
Those two guys deserve it.
I wanted Ziggler to have a long title reign. Maybe those concussions got to him.
Right.
That could be another problem. When he's ready and he's fit, he gets injured.
Right.
And now injuries happen, and it's not his fault, but that does make the guys behind the scenes go, you know what? If he's getting hurt like this, he could be another Nigel McGuinness,
or Rey Mysterio,
or Rey Mysterio,
or
Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara. Sin Cara. Forget about Rey Mysterio. He's proven himself over the years. I mean, Rey gets hurt, but Sin Cara hasn't done nothing. He's getting hurt. He sneezed the other day, and all of a sudden he dislocated a rib.
I'm like, okay, you dislocated that, but how many other wrestlers got hurt and finished a match, or even continued?
Right.
I also don't buy it. Yeah,
see, look at the real space that he got pissed.
Sin Cara came out of the ring for 2 seconds and was waving the referee on. Like, are you kidding me? Really? 2 seconds?
Well, at least that was about 20 seconds more than Jeff Hardy and Sting back when Jeff was completely destroyed.
Hey, that was a good match. I don't know what
it was. It was the second fastest match in history.
Was that better than Warrior versus Hogan in WCW?
There is nothing better than Warrior in WCW ever. Not even the match. Just the whole program with Warrior was the greatest thing ever in life. Okay, so AJ, I hope I would love to see him in WWE. I would love to see him as AJ Styles and push that. You know what? This guy, maybe the WWE audience don't know who he is. He comes out, he tries to do this face gimmick, and maybe the fans aren't behind it. And all of a sudden, he gets put with We the People. He gets put with Zeb Coulter. Comes in with a great manager because you know what? AJ was. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but when Ric Flair was with AJ did elevate his mic skill a bit.
He did.
He needed that push.
Before then, his mic skills was kind of blah.
Oh, horrible. I mean, you talk about a guy who was wrestling for all those years, no mic skill. He had okay mic skill, but he's like, oh, God, no, then I'm AJ Styles. Like, yeah, we know who you are now. Just do the Pele kick. But when it comes to it now, you want to watch it, you want to see, if they could do a program where they make him a face, and they give him to other people, and maybe then he can go against them, or, just in that mid-card range, just to at least get the fans used to him.
Honestly, I think him and We the People would be great. Because he's from the South. I mean, not to be stereotypical, but I mean that's you can play right into that with AJ Styles. But also having Zeb Coulter, be his manager, that would be just. I mean,
Zeb's great. Yeah,
Zeb is great.
Dutch knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Speaking of Zeb, I want to see what he's going to say on Election Day.
I'm not even going to tune into nothing. Oh my God! But no, I like the idea of AJ getting someplace, somewhere, somehow. If TNA's smart, they're going to have to sign him. I mean, they don't want to lose him because that's T-shirt sales. He is the prodigal son. Bill?
Yeah, I was going to say, you said if TNA's smart, and I think, honestly, I like TNA. I like Bobby Roode. I like Austin Aries. I like a lot of talent they have, but they're not being smart right now. I mean,
They're clearly not.
They're really, They're doing programs, They're, and not to bash on TNA, because I do like them. Actually, I went to go see them a couple of weeks ago and was like, all right, I'll go see this show. But they have, what do you call it? They were building up Doc, and then his contract expired, so he's gone. The first time, Devon, they let him go, and then brought him back.
I got a spoiler on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. Let Bill finish, then I gotta know about this. Go ahead, Bill.
But I mean, they also have, they went to, Michigan, and half the wrestlers didn't have the license to actually perform. I mean,
was it Milwaukee?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Milwaukee. It was Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many instances of. I mean, even Brooke Hogan. I hear that. She is.
Gone.
There's rumors that she's left. It's like, then why isn't the program with her? I mean, it's just one.
Why start a program that you
after
can't
the other? And it's really, as a wrestling fan and as a TNA fan, it's hard to rally around them anymore because they seem so disorganized.
They've shot themselves in the foot so many times that you can't keep supporting them.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm still gonna watch them because they still have really good talent. They have Bubba Ray. They have
great matches. If I'm not mistaken, I'm telling you, it's got to be Alex Shelley as Manic,
right,
because it only makes sense. But then again, this is TNA. It could be Alex Shelley for about 2 weeks, and they decided to put Ken Kennedy in it.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows?
They have really good talent and
weeks?
just aren't doing anything with it. It's really it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Now, what was your spoiler about Devon?
Remember the tag match I mentioned about a few weeks ago that got pushed back to this week?
Right.
He's going to be the one who's going to lose, so that means he's going to be the one who's leaving. So pretty much Devon has left TNA wrestling.
But is that, once again, it's a gimmick, so it means nothing that he's gone.
But you think it's a gimmick? Because
because he's still technically on the contract. And he's a name that they want to keep, especially with Bubba Ray there. There's no way they would let Devon go. There's no way that would happen. Those guys came to TNA very early on when they couldn't bring their name, and they created the name 3D, Team 3D, and they still did the thing. They stayed all those years. They put on great programs. You can't get rid of either one of them. I just don't see. Dixie always talks about supporting the wrestlers that she feels that have been there for the company. You don't get rid of Devon. Yeah, you get rid of all those other, like Luke Gallows and Brooke and everybody else. I don't care about them. But if you're going to keep the lifers, keep the ones who, A, give you ratings, and B, give you talent, and 3, give you loyalty.
That's the thing about it. So many so many wrestlers in TNA has been loyal to them, but now they bring in all these MMA guys. What's the deal with that? And Billy, did you see Tito Ortiz's debut?
Yeah, and honestly, not being a MMA guy, I didn't know who he was, so it really didn't matter to me. I'm like, okay, big deal.
That's the point. Like Billy was saying, like when you watch the video, like me and Julian and Bill, we all talked about this. Watch that video clip. And the only reaction is actually from the announcers going, "It's Tito Ortiz!" And you're like, everyone in the audience is like, what happened to Hernandez? He got skinny. Because no one knew who he was.
I wanted to be somebody else, like an Adam Pearce or
Bob Holly.
I wanted to be anybody other than Tito Ortiz.
Dude, if it was hardcore Bob Holly, that would have been kind of crazy.
But
isn't he dead?
No, he's not dead. He wrote a book a few months ago.
Well, I'm glad he has fingers. I'm happy for him. But I didn't realize he was still alive.
No, the other one is dead.
Crash. Yeah, he
Crash.
He died a long time ago. But for some reason, I thought hardcore Holly passed away. He would have been a good addition just for teaching talent and helping push talent.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring a guy like that, you bring a guy who's got the history of being a very tough, stiff wrestler, has some history, isn't all that big, and it could help the show. Would still be better than Tito Ortiz. Because Rampage Jackson and Tito Ortiz have no right being on that show. They do not provide anything. This is one of the main TNA problems that they had, even prior to Hogan, was sensationalism that they brought over from WCW.
Exactly.
In the days of WCW, bringing in stupid celebrities like David Arquette, let's not even get into it, but David Arquette, they brought in, oh my God, just Kiss, and things
Frank
that just didn't...
brought in also.
Yeah.
That's who they should have actually been the surprise. David Arquette. That would have been good.
Oh my God. He was a champion. Oh my God. Because David Arquette. Yay. Freaky Fingers 72, Volume 8. Shut up, man.
Exactly.
But when we come to a certain point, it's like, you watch a TNA and you're going, why do we need Pac-Man Jones?
He was there for no reason. And plus, he didn't wrestle not a single time. Even though he wasn't wrestling matches.
He wasn't allowed to technically wrestle. So he threw a football at somebody's junk. That's what he did, remember? He threw a football.
Yeah, of course. It was Bully Ray.
Bully Ray's junk, really.
Yeah.
And then you have that. Then you have, of course, Bischoff coming in. Like, I thought getting Earl Hebner was great. That was a lucky break for them.
Yeah.
Because of what happened with WWE. Like, he screwed up. They didn't appreciate what he was doing. He was selling merch or something like that. He wasn't allowed to. Really a weird circumstance why Earl Hebner was fired. One of the most iconic referees in wrestling history.
And now the most controversial since '97.
And of course, he's been controversial, of course. But he was always controversial. We had the twin brother thing. And
oh, yeah, I remember that.
But he was that referee. You never know if he was going to be... He's supposed to call right down the middle, or he doesn't have to. You had that option with him. Why would you lose that referee? Also, once we get to SummerSlam, we'll talk about bad refereeing. But... so with that, it's like, let's just wrap up a little bit of TNA. I feel that AJ Styles has options. I just don't want to see TNA go, no, we don't want to re-sign you, and he ends up in Ring of Honor again. There's no reason. There. No reason for that.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, WWE has the money to spare to bring him in just to bring in that whatever, Well,
just to make sure nobody else gets him.
Yeah, that they've done it before, And if he could prove himself, one day he could get up to go against CM Punk or Daniel Bryan or these guys, and the fans who know that history would love that.
Exactly.
And you could have that opportunity. Granted, will we see it? I don't know. Okay, now we gotta talk.
I was going to mention. Billy. I said Billy. When you saw that video of his debut, how many times have you seen Ken Anderson's reaction and just laughed?
What do you call it? I didn't
actually sold that like
Ken Anderson, what do you call reacting to it at all? It's like, I don't know.
Billy was too busy going, who is this guy? He's like pulling out Wikipedia going, who is Tito Ortiz?
Oh, Tito Ortiz, MMA guy. Wow.
Oh, I mean,
but I'm not into that, so I don't,
Yeah, but let me tell you, Ken Anderson's reaction was, that was the greatest sell he's ever done in his life. That was like a DDT from Jake the Snake. He sold it so well. He's like, oh my god, he's grabbing the guys. No one knows how to react. And I was like, it's just, and then he's standing there like, just, this is a guy who's broken people's bodies in ring for real, and then he's standing like a fool on stage, and it's like, it doesn't mean nothing. When Taz stood on stage, Taz had a presence.
Yeah.
Here's Tito Ortiz, and you're looking going, is he going to smell his armpits like that character that Molly Shannon used to do when she go, the little Catholic school girl, and she put her fingers by her nose? Like, it was ridiculous.
I think it's upsetting, what do you call it, to have it, to have an MMA guy there, because he's not going to do anything. He's
right.
not going to wrestle.
Active wrestling, active MMA.
Rampage Jackson are going to do a little dance for a couple months, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, but
future endeavored.
Yeah. But to make Spike TV happy, just to keep them on a network, and we all know how important a network is to a wrestling show, they probably would force. I think in a way, I feel that the hand was probably slightly forced to bring them in, because right now, unfortunately, Spike TV's highest rated show is TNA, and we're talking 0.7, 0.8 is not impressive numbers, but for Spike, it's keeping them advertisers, So they lost UFC, so they want to go with this. What's it called? Bellator?
I guess so, yeah.
The other wrestling organization. Yeah, who cares? The other MMA organization, which has these guys fighting each other soon. So, you know what? Cross-promote it, bring them in. It makes the fans happy. It keeps advertisers happy. It'll keep the network happy. Because we all know what happened when ECW lost their TNN contract. I mean, they lasted about another 6 months at most.
And that's the thing. ECW, they was getting over 2 to 3 million viewers a week at that time.
Yeah, and that was severely edited shows, too.
Yeah.
But they were smart. They knew how to... But you know what? ECW did have the late-night show on Masters Square Garden Network, where they were able to go, you know what? If you want to see it, watch it on hardcore TV, so you get to see more in recaps. You'd end up watching the recap show over the weekend because you'd see the stuff they would edit out from the TNN show.
Exactly.
All right, now let's get into another news. Let's talk about TMZ and Darren Young. So, I've just noticing that as of lately, the topic of being gay is being brought up in sports, but also because of what's happening in Russia.
Yeah.
Russia's being like really dumbasses about it, and just get off yourself, or whatever. But that's a culture; they can do what they want. So actors are coming out, a lot of celebrities are coming out. People are just coming out left and right. And I guess a little bit of a surprising turn was that how Darren Young came out about it on TMZ. With him basically, it was almost like an offhanded remark. Like he kind of laughed at, like, you didn't know I was gay, dude? All right. Or did you? It's like, and the question out there is not the gay part. I can care less. I'm happy that he's who he is. He should be.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I think by already watching this past Raw, we know exactly, and we already know how smart it was for him to come out, because prior to Darren Young saying anything, Primetime Players has been floating in the midst of nothing for months. When they had Abraham Washington, he basically ruined their chances of being anything by his remarks.
Exactly.
Because they were pushing it really hard. Primetime Players, and they were getting all this time. Abraham Washington finally doing something out of nowhere instead of sitting on a couch. And he says a comment and pretty much set them back almost a year, right? It's been a year.
Yeah, it has been a year since that incident happened.
And they set him back that far. So, in a way, do you feel that Darren Young was like, it can't hurt to come out because they got the whole Be a Star program. They can't fire me for being gay and coming out because that would be a bullying strategy. Bill?
Oh, honestly, I really don't think it matters. But I think it has rejuvenized, I guess, his career and Titus O'Neil's career. I mean, honestly, the match they had against the Real Americans, that was a damn good match. And he's running around the ring like, this is my house, and I'm going to do my moves and whatnot. And it's like
he came in.
He had like a new confidence in him, I think, in the ring. Because honestly, he really wasn't much to me before. It really wasn't much to me. It doesn't matter if he's gay or not. But just as a wrestler, it was like, okay, well, he's showing his stuff now. All right, cool.
I feel that the possibility that the TMZ program putting him on TV, because normally people are like, who's Darren Young? No one cares. It's not like it's CM Punk. It's not like it's it's not like, it's not John Cena. It's not, it's just, hey, it's a WWE wrestler. He just happens to be this guy, and he's gay. And everyone's like, what? It's like, but in a way, yeah, exactly. But it was funny enough. What I mean by it, that fan base only a week before were not cheering them.
Not until this came out.
Exactly. So it was probably the smartest thing for him to have done.
I'm over here thinking, do you think that was set up?
No. I mean, I don't think the TMZ segment was set up. I mean, obviously he is technically a sports player, and the whole idea with the one was the NBA guy who came out. He had a girl, and then he lied, and now he's gay, and it's becoming such a big hot topic that you want to ask other sports celebrities.
Exactly.
What do you think of being gay in sports? Now, if you ask Chris Cannon, he'd have a different story.
Oh yeah.
His is that they fired me because I'm gay. No, they fired you because you were a horrible wrestler.
Oh, speaking about coming out, this has nothing to do with wrestling, but have you guys ever watched Prison Break before?
Yeah, I heard about it already. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, and I know, but it's the way he came out. Was it a letter because in Russia they wanted him to come for some kind of celebrity film thing, and he said, I would be honored to come, but I can't honestly come because of me being gay. And I think that's genius. It's a very well respectable, very well written letter. Official, like he said, if you guys could just change, Russia can just change how they treat us, I would gladly come back. So it wasn't like he was being like, a lot of people have been like doing like holding flags in Moscow and saying F Russia. He did it in the most respectable, professional way you could do it. So yeah, I mean, that was good for him. But you see, it's like an everyday thing. It's like It's bringing up more steam to people, and I guarantee you, people who never watched Prison Break might watch it now just because of that.
I mean, I love Prison Break, though.
It's a good show anyway, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't get a chance to watch it, and now they might take that chance to check it out. What's the big thing about it? That's the same thing what I feel about Darren Young. That now, like you said, you see the boost of confidence in him, and you just hope that it gets them enough to get them into a position where tag team matches will matter again.
Right.
I love the fact that they're a tag team and they've got a name. I love when tag teams have names. I'm glad they're the primetime players, you know. I'm glad we have the Samoans, the Usos. You know, we got the Usos, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of all these wrestlers, but I'm glad there's tag teams, you know. We need more. And I feel with that opportunity, then we have that announcement of the Los Matadores, and that just really made me sad.
Well, but you know who they are, right?
No, I don't.
They're Primo and Epico.
Yeah, they're Primo and Epico. I meant to tell you that a few days ago.
So they just repackaged them?
Yeah, they repackaged them without Rosa Mendez. No
Rosa Mendez, then I boycott it.
It doesn't look good anyway. What do you call these from the promos? What do you call it? The mask look, I don't know, they don't look good.
Do you know what made me mad? They didn't even once mention Tito Santana in the promos.
I know.
You know, he was the Matador. He got repackaged as Tito Santana the Matador. You know, he was repackaged. As opposed to him being Tito Santana, the fourth grade teacher, which he currently is. But that made me mad. Like, you know, I was watching that promo going, all right, at least I wanted to go, over the years, wrestling's had, you know, and they could have showed Tito, you know?
Right.
But they didn't. They didn't show him, and I was just like, well, what's the friggin' point of that?
He could be the manager.
That would be great. Bring him back as a manager, you know? But or Rosa Mendez would be great too, but they don't have her, which sucks, you know, whatever. But I'm watching it, and I was just like, this is a joke, and it made me think of the Los, what were they called when Christian and Edge were dressed up as?
The Los damn it.
The Conquistadors.
Yeah,
Uno and Dos, yeah. And I watched that going, this is another joke gimmick? I'm like, great. I didn't know it was Epico and Primo. I forgot they even existed anymore. You know, and that's sad. All right, so Darren Young.
Just getting back to the primetime players for a second. What do you call it? There was rumors. Before, I guess, before he came out, that they were going to break up the team anyway. So what do you call it? It sort of revitalized like the team. Yeah, what do you call it? They were supposed to go the separate way, or at least that was the rumor. And what do you call it? Now they're back together. So what do you call it?
Well, genius.
I think it's good. I think it's good for both of them. What do you call it? Titus O'Neil as well.
Yeah.
Titus needs to thank Darren Young for being gay now.
It was actually funny. What do you call it? When I heard about it, my buddy goes, "Did you hear about Darren Young?" I'm like, "Oh my God, what did he do? Did he do DUI or pot?"
Is that the saddest way we go? We think,
was
he dead?
Exactly.
I thought that's exactly where I was going. Like, okay, what happened? He's like, "Oh no, what do you call it? Check out TMC." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." But what do I always I thought like it was going to be a cool thing or what do you call it? An RVD or what do you call it? I thought it was going to be something completely different than what it was. But,
I was thinking he had a fight in a bar.
Yeah.
Right, like Darren Young, and you're like, oh no, what did another wrestler do? Oh. All right, so we go from there. Is there any little topic of discussion you guys want to bring out? Any new stuff?
Did you see the video of Ric Flair in SummerSlam Access?
No.
Yeah, this guy was totally wasted during the WWE 2K14 panel.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he went on about 10 minutes rambling about old stories, and the fans could clearly see he was wasted.
Beautiful. Yet they let him on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, Ric Flair keeping it classy since 1972.
Yeah.
The Nature Boy is no longer a boy or nature or anything. He's sad. All right, so I guess now let's jump into SummerSlam. Wait, go ahead.
I have one other thing. What do you call it? You said, what do you call it? They can't fire Darren Young because he's gay because of the Be a Star. I just want to make a comment about CM Punk. What do you call it? You're not supposed to be bullying and whatnot, but he calls out a fan on Monday Night Raw.
We'll get to Monday Night Raw when we get to Monday Night Raw.
Like, ridiculousness, but okay.
Yeah, but you know what? And I thought he was going to get in trouble for that.
I thought so, too.
You know what, though? He's done this in the past. A lot of wrestlers do this. I don't... See, this is where the lines get weird with wrestling. They don't want you being a bully, right? But yet you have a whole program of Ryback bullying people.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then,
and remember last year with the Hosky stuff with Zack Ryder and Eve.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right. Now, then let's not even get that. Let's just go into the fact that wrestling, if a wrestler doesn't yell back at the fans every so often, you don't... That interaction made Bubba Ray who Bubba Ray is, you know?
Right.
So, you know, I don't get mad at it when it's done in character. And he did first say, "Sir, I respect that you paid for the ticket and you have your right to boo me." But and
then he went being him a fatty, and then Paul Heyman comes out and calls him a fatty. Like, really?
Yeah.
What do you call it? You know.
Hey, you know what though? When you're going to a wrestling show and you're being a complete mark, and you're gonna go out and boo and call out and be that guy to wanna edge on the wrestler, you have to expect something like that to come back. That's part of the interaction. That happens at wrestling shows. I know that.
Punk had a very bad day prior to that, which was also reported also.
What
happened?
I'm still trying to find that out because I just read it.
Wow.
So it was really like he was kind of like this. He really was not in a good mood.
Well,
but you know what? You got to keep it separate.
There's a right way to handle it, and there's a wrong way to handle it. And I don't think that was the right way to handle it.
But that's all fine and well. But he's also his name is CM
John Cena. What do you call it? What do you call it? He doesn't care if people boo him or whatever. It's just part of the business, you know.
No, he can't do that because of who he is.
Exactly.
But prior, when he was the bad guy, he did do it. Jericho does it all the time. CM Punk's name is CM Punk, not CM friggin' Hero.
Yep, and CM Punk has been doing it way before WWE. Have you ever seen the stuff in IWA?
Oh, yeah, he did it all the time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Even a guy named Chris Hero did it to people. He got himself into a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Because he took it too far. CM Punk just said, you want to fight me? You think you're a tough guy? Come in the ring and fight CM Punk. Wrestlers have done this always.
And this stuff may have happened in house shows also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's happened before. I mean, and you know what? Wrestlers are humans too, and he shouldn't make mistakes, but people do.
What do you call
Just like Ric Flair shouldn't be drunk at a panel.
He yells at the fans, and what do you call it? A couple months ago, what do you call it? He hit the wrong fan in the stands.
No, that was last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
So I mean, he's got a track record of being a hothead. Maybe he's
but that's why his name is CM Punk.
Chill. Yeah. Oh.
And now I got to edit that. Thank you.
Sorry.
See, people make mistakes, and then you hear you curse on a podcast over nothing. This is what wrestlers do. Wrestlers have always done this. This is a part of wrestling business.
Yeah.
You know, if you do it in character and going, I hate this town, you all smell bad, or he points out one individual person, they've done it. But don't forget what Rick Rude used to do to the women in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Or what Val Venus used to do to the women in the audience, where he would say one woman was ugly, you were not good enough for me. They've done this all the time. But you see, it's a part of who you are. And you know what?
I mean, once you get into that character, it follows with you. Look at Steve Austin.
Now, Stone Cold did it all the time. Now, if someone's being a jerk, he's going to call you out on it. Oh, I do want to bring up one thing about the whole gay thing is, I can't say it, but all I'm going to tell you guys to do if you're listening to this, look for Steve Austin talks about gay marriage. One of the greatest Steve Austin promos I've ever seen in my life. I don't want to repeat it because we'd have to severely censor it because now I have to edit Billy. I don't need to edit myself out. But I have to admit that I was really surprised at Stone Cold. I mean, I guess he should be. It's cool, but it doesn't seem like the Stone Cold kind of way.
Yeah, hearing from that guy, since he's from Texas, a rough guy like that, talking like that, it's quite different.
And it was really kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah.
Because his points of view were so solid, but it was done in such a Stone Cold way, and it was so funny. You heard it, Bill, right?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, you only heard it when I told you about it. That you didn't really.
Yeah, well, I heard about it through you, but I haven't watched it yet. So.
Yeah, when you get a chance, you have to check it out. Okay, finally, SummerSlam. Let's get into this. Now, SummerSlam.
The pre-show with RVD versus Dean Ambrose.
Okay, now, as we refer to, with the most biggest waste of time ever on the history of the world.
He needs to drop that belt. I am so sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't feel that Dean Ambrose should drop the belt yet. There's no reason to, because like I said, the minute the Shield, any member drops that belt, they're really losing their steam.
Yeah, they're losing their momentum.
They're getting overshadowed by the Wyatt family.
And you know what?
Family.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a better gimmick. More people can relate to, I think, the sensationalism, the overdramatic sensationalism of the Wyatt family gimmick because of news programs. That's why We the People got over so big, because it kind of ripped the headlines, like those Law and Order episodes would say.
Yep.
And it would be like, the Wyatt family pretty much was the West Baptist Church group, or any kind of cult. You think of that movie Red State. You think of like Charles Manson. Yeah, all those elements they're pulling into this whole creepy cult. And I think it's also kind of far removed that it works. The problem with a group like The Shield is that they don't make sense. Are they working for Vince? Are they independent? Or are they a radical, like, rebellious group? They're wearing identical uniforms. They're supposed to be taking out and showing respect in the business, but yet there's no rhyme or reason of who they attack. That's the problem. That's why they're losing steam, because it's like, all right, they're just coming through the audience. Ooh. They're wearing Big Boss Man's old clothes. Ooh.
Rest of your soul.
Finally. Yeah, But you know what I'm saying? Like, the Shield was making this impact, but no one knew why. They're supposed to be, when they do stuff like this, a catalyst, a scapegoat, or a figurehead. And there is none right now. There is no... The Shield is not... Dean Ambrose is not their leader. It doesn't make sense because he's not good enough to be their leader. He hasn't shown me that he does that. He just seems like the guy who's just above them slightly.
Right.
I mean,
I like Seth Rollins, though. He's a good damn bumper.
Bill, what do you think? He high spotter?
Yeah, high spotter.
What do you? I like Dean Ambrose. I like and I like Seth Rollins. I don't like Roman Reigns at all.
I don't either. He has that same line every single time. I'm Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I'm glad you know your name. I'm glad he has to remember. He writes it in his hand just in case he forgets. But he, of any of them, has shown the least amount of any kind of growth. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose have shown themselves in prior matches that they have skill. Of course they do. They are great young talent. Problem is that they're having the same issue that a character like AJ Styles has, where there is no skill set. They have limited skill set on the microphone. And this is a problem for an organized group. Husky Harris, with the Wyatt family, like Bill mentioned, makes that whole thing work.
Yeah, it does, single-handedly.
His promos were some of the best. The rocking chair, he sits there, he blows out the lantern. It just, it's so good. Their intro Titantron is awesome.
Yep.
I haven't seen one that good in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's because it isn't a cult kind of thing. When you have guys with some rock music come walking through the audience, you're like, whatever, might as well just be Right to Censor. At least Right to Censor had a goal, a common goal. And, Steven Richards was their leader.
Yeah.
They had talent and they had mic skill. They had everything leading up, and they did some good damage and left for as a little bit of time that Right to Censor survived. They did it. Annoying intro music. They attacked whoever wanted to, and when they brought people in, they completely changed their gimmick.
Yeah,
and that's why.
Right to Censor, if they was here now, that shit would work.
It would, but that's my problem when you watch The Shield. Where is it leading to? And it's not leading anywhere. They got titles, but what's the point of the titles?
Right. I think they definitely need to have some sort of story behind them, and it's just, all right, yeah, what do you call it? We're going to fight Big Show and Mark Henry. Okay, why?
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the thing. You got Dean Ambrose and RVD start to have a match. First out, Dean Ambrose walks out of the ring halfway through the match, and what did I count? The 27?
Yeah.
26,
I counted
26.
up to 27, 26. 26. He was out of the ring twice the amount of time needed to be counted out.
Do you think
what does the ref do?
Do you think that was the same referee from last year's incident with that NFL game where they switched all the referees?
It was the replacement ref now work for WWE at SummerSlam, because not one of them throughout the whole pay-per-view could logically do anything right. They didn't count him out. He walked out of the ring, and RVD was in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
And what did they do? They didn't count. And then they come out, then Big Show and Mark Henry show up. We all know us remember that only a couple months ago, Big Show and Mark Henry were at each other's throats.
Exactly.
A month ago, Mark Henry was fighting John Cena. It's like this doesn't matter. So let's take these two guys that were paying lots of money to sit around and just put them into a tag team to fight the Shield. And honestly, when you see two guys who are heavyweight champions, why do you even think for 2 seconds that Mark Henry and Big Show can't beat the crap out of the Shield? There's like nothing to say that they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the main thing for me is that they didn't know what to do with Dean Ambrose for the show, so they just gave him RVD because the fans want RVD.
Exactly. The fans popped for RVD on that pre-show also.
Yes, they want to see it, and you know what the thing is? We knew Dean Ambrose wasn't going to lose the title, but I didn't like that. Even though it's just a pre-show match, they treated it like a YouTube video, where like, hey, we're going to stand around. Then the other guys show up, and then like Billy said, all right, wait, they're going to have a match later on. They're 3-on-3, and it never happened. You know, you have a pre-show, you built to absolutely nothing, and then that's it. And then they're like, hey, Big Show, you know, you're going to help us. Yeah, well, me and Mark Henry, we're going to go after those titles. It's like, who cares?
Right.
It was a waste of time. They could just, you know what? Just show me a recap of the build-up for the past month. Don't even show me that pre-show if that's what you're going to give me.
What do you call
or give me a recap of Kurt Angle's training videos.
Go ahead, Dave.
If it's a pre-show, what do you call it? It's supposed to be, I don't know, getting people to want to buy the pay-per-view. I don't know. That didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I would have been like, I am not buying this pay-per-view. All right, now let's get to the actual official show. The Wyatt family, well,
Bray Wyatt versus Kane in the Ring of Fire match.
Which, you know what? I think I was talking to Billy when we were watching the pay-per-view, and I was like, so in an Inferno match, and Bill was like, no one gets set on fire. It's just a Ring of Fire match. I'm like, then what's the point? So no one could leave the ring. I'm like,
I think the other point is for the Wyatt family to not get in, but apparently they found a way.
But you know what? You could have done it as a cage match. You could have done it as a Hell in a Cell match. You could have done it as a Punjabi bamboo stick match, or whatever the hell that thing was called.
Punjabi prison.
Yeah, Punjabi prison. Absolutely, completely pointless to have a Ring of Fire match other than, we get it, Kane is the fire guy.
Yeah.
And it didn't mean anything. The idea, though, was set, this is just a kind of it was the first match, and I'm glad it was the first match. It's to set up a future story, and I don't mind that. But you didn't need the Ring of Fire to do that, because there was no element of danger.
It really
at
wasn't.
all. What do you think, Bill?
I think, what do you call it? It didn't do anything. What do you call it? As a kickoff match to a pay-per-view, I think, what do you call it? The pre-match and this match really didn't do much. It was like,
this could have been done on Raw. They could have saved this for like a Raw.
Yeah. What do you call it? It didn't. I don't know. It didn't get the crowd going. It didn't get anything going. It was just like, okay, and it had all the potential of being a good match. What do you call it? I mean, I don't know. Bray Wyatt, what do you call it? I mean, he could put on a halfway decent match with the moves he has, and what do you call it, the finisher?
He's got a primal fighting style that is very unique.
Yeah.
He takes typical wrestling, and he's coming at you with this ferocity, like this violent anger, no care, but throw it to the wind kind of attitude. And it's not high spots. It's not chain wrestling. But yet, it's not just two big guys punching each other. He's doing something different, and I like it, and it really works well.
Do you think he fights sorry to cut you, but do you think he fights the same way as Bruiser Brody?
What do you think, Bill? I don't think so. No. Bruiser Brody's a little older school, and I don't think this is old school. This is something. It's a combination of old school, new school, and just going with what works with his gimmick.
I'm not so sure about what he call. I mean, it's so much more of the wrestling style. I think it's just pretty cool. I think the gimmick actually works. And what he call with his personality, they could have made this match something more than what it was, and it was just like, okay, that's it.
Well, the idea is they're taking Kane and they're going to once again repackage Kane. At least that's what we think.
I hope.
I hope we see like at least 3 weeks of vignettes where Kane is in that cabin in the woods, and they're going to do stuff, and then maybe they'll give him the atom bomb contacts.
Atom bomb.
You give him like those contacts and make him look like he's crazy. Basically the idea is a cult version of the Ministry. And I think that will work. And I think they need to disband the Shield because they can't have too many stables. They have to stop with the multiple stables. The 90s were full of stables.
Oh, yeah, it was. Especially in WCW.
NWO had black and white and red, and there was 152 members. You had New Age out. You had the DX and WWE. You had the Right to Censor. You had the Corporation. You had the Ministry. How about just one stable that is unpredictable and you can go anywhere with them?
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that one.
That's what the Wyatt family should be. The Shield needs to go away, or the Shield should just be a tag team. And Dean Ambrose leaves and does his own thing. That way, the Shield could just be a tag team. Have them as a tag team. Have, Mark Henry and Big Show called the World's Strongest Show, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Just tag teams. Get back to tag team divisions and just have this stable of guys.
Yes.
And, Kane will be their creation. They could refer to him as something different. And that's what they were building up to this. And they dragged Kane away. What I liked about it, they didn't leave Kane in the ring. They took him with them. And that was the whole point of this match, was for that.
Yeah.
But like Billy said, that's not a first match. Not on SummerSlam. Maybe on a TLC or an Extreme Rules or something simple. But not, remember, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam are the big four.
Yep.
As being one of the big four, when a year ago, you had amazing matches. Brock and John Cena was last year, right?
Yeah, Extreme Rules.
At SummerSlam. Was that Extreme Rules or SummerSlam?
No, it's Brock and Triple H.
Oh, that was SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But you had these SummerSlam's always supposed to be bigger and badder, and then you have a match like that was just not. But overall, it was there just to further the story.
But I think I think they could have instead of started that instead of that match. But I think they could one that really could have gotten the crowd on their feet is the Sandow Rhodes match,
which was technically the second match on the card.
Right. I think that match was better. It was more. People would have gotten into it more, and then Then they could have done this Ring of Fire match. But
well, let's talk about that. So it's Cody Rhodes versus Damien Sandow. Which first out, these two guys are great.
Yeah. Did you notice Cody cut the mustache?
Well, it's so funny. What I love about it, they even mention it and say, like, if you want to find out what happens, tune in on YouTube next Friday and you'll find out how Cody got rid of the mustache. It's like, really? It's like, you know what? Cody, gotta go?
I don't care that much. Sorry. But
well, my point is, like, I love Cody, and I felt that a long time ago that Cody was always supposed to be better than that. And I think he got so lumped up with Ted DiBiase Jr. that it just kind of hurt him. And then being the underlings to Randy Orton, I just don't think it helped him.
No, it helped him as soon as he broke away from that group.
You see that? And then he had to help carry Ted DiBiase for another, year for no damn good reason. And they were giving Ted DiBiase the movie. Then there was rumors that Ted DiBiase was going to break the streak. And there was all these other rumors like, no, wrong person. Look at Cody. Do you not realize that Goldust has been your go-to wrestler for about 15 years in WWE?
Yep.
Dustin Rhodes is phenomenal. And his younger brother, is just as good, if not better. And then, you know what? You have a match like Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes, which would have got the audience in right away. And the people were in love with that match. And it was a simple match. It was a grudge match.
Yeah.
I think both of them were very good. and both of them really play off each other very well. And I think the
Yes,
storyline gets
major.
furthered. And what do you call it? It's a charismatic match to have. I think they're both really good wrestlers. And what do you call it? I mean, Sandow is just phenomenal on the mic.
Yes, he's a great. Like I said, he's like the genius, but
oh yeah, I was just about to bring that up. He reminds me of the genius,
but
this
more talented.
Genius.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And that should so basically that should have been the first match. Then we could just throw in the whole Ring of Fire after. But I can see why they made the Ring of Fire first, because that's the setup.
Yeah.
They have to set that up, And if it's not going to be dynamic, you can't put that in the middle. So then they bust out a championship match.
The Del Rio and Christian match.
The Del Rio, Coffee, and Christian match. I mentioned Coffee because just a little quick side note, guys. You guys are listening to this. Julian sent me over a copy of all the
results,
the result breakdown, and for some reason, wherever he got the link from, it actually has little mugs of coffee. So when I took that and I put it into a text file, it goes. Let me read it. It goes 3 Alberto Del Rio. Parentheses, Coffee, defeated Christian by submission. It actually took the code for the Coffee image mug and made it into a text. So I don't know what site that's from. I guess Wiki, whatever it was. Yeah. So really quick. So this match happens, and everyone was so excited to see Christian was going to do this, and that wow, Christian's going to have a match. Maybe he'll beat Alberto Del Rio. And my problem was I felt, and I kind of knew that no, they don't. Unfortunately, as much as I love Christian, and I thought he was great in TNA, and I feel he was great in ECW, and I feel that he's always been good, they don't see that, and they never will. And the only reason he got the one chance at it is because Edge.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to show you, once again, that WWE sometimes doesn't know their own guy.
That's the point I wanted to bring up. Last year, he was the world champion. Well, no, 2 years ago, he was the world champion for the first time. And then he loses it on the next SmackDown to Orton. He has this long journey just to get the belt back, and when he does, it's not a fair situation.
No, they made it like a complete scummy heel crap. What a waste of time to do it. But you know what? Christian is a professional. They wanted to do it. He's a team player. He's a worker, and he'll do whatever gimmick they want. Because you know what? That's what you do, right? You're getting paid, and they want you to be a jerk. You do it. They want you to be whatever. You do it. That whole one more match, he's been saying it for about a year or two. And you're like,
boy, it's even in Becca's new T-shirt now.
But you know what? That's fine. But this time it could mean something better. And what do? They pull out. Who was that? He said, my web designer and photographer, everything. Shaquille was watching, and he's like, my one weakness, my shoulder. Remember that one thing that hurt me that one time that I was out, and I just came back. Why? It's like, he sold it. If you watch the match, he sold it just like it. Like, no.
I don't get this match. What do you call? Because as I think we mentioned, what do you call it as we were watching it. He had his arms down, or what do you call it? Del Rio was pinned as well. His arms were down, and they're like, okay, they're not counting. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was the problem. Once again, another NFL replacement ref mistake was that Christian was getting in an arm lock, but Christian had him on his shoulders.
Yeah, for about
his shoulders
6
were
seconds.
Flat. His shoulders were flat to the mat. You could have counted him out. You could have went 1, 2, 3, Christian champion. But the ref pretended like he didn't even see it, and you're sitting there going, wow. Do you think they did that purposely? So when Christian wants to say, whatever, that he can come back and say, I got screwed. Give me one more match again type of thing. Look at this replay. What kind of refs you got here. They could play that up, but I don't think they saw it that way.
Right. And what do you call it? I'm a Christian fan. I'm not really a Del Rio fan. But I think Christian needs the title more than Del Rio. I think Del Rio can, what do you call it? Honestly, he really doesn't need the title. He can do this thing with Ricardo Rodriguez. He can do stuff with RVD. He doesn't need the title. And he seems like, honestly, I mean, he's already said, I think, I don't know if it's off the record or what, but, that, what do you call it? I don't think he's going to be here for the long term. He's going to get his payday and then go back and just chill, so.
Who is this, Alberto?
Yeah, so. He's sort of like he's a part-time player. What do you call it? I mean, he's wrestling pretty consistently now, but, I don't know how old he is, but he can't be doing this forever. And what do you call it? He's not going to be. I don't know. He's not going to be around for. I don't. At least I don't know. That's my impression. I don't think he's going to be around for a long time.
See, I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree with you guys. I feel that he's really good, and I don't like when they first were giving it to him. I know his uncle is new mascot, but what does that got to do with anything? They were trying to push him more than they should have, way too soon. Well, I think how he got pushed is because at roughly the same time, they brought Sin Cara, and now it's supposed to be the new pet project, and the guy turned out to be a complete unprofessional dumbass. So Alberto Del Rio was like, well, we're your go-to Latino SmackDown, because SmackDown has a lot of Latino viewers. We need you. And they tried to push him, and then it just didn't work because he wasn't ready. Even though Alberto Del Rio is much more WWE style than most Mexican wrestlers, he still needed time. Because you can't just... I don't like when they do that. You have all these guys working hard for programs, then like, we create this new guy, he comes and gets the title, and you're like...
Oh, not even that. Remember when he won the Royal Rumble 2 years ago? He clearly wasn't ready for that. And then he had a match against Edge about 2 months later. Edge had to literally carry this guy.
Oh yeah, it was not there. But you know what? Once they got through the We the People gimmicks and what you start to learn by watching Alberto Del Rio, he is a very good wrestler. Yeah, you see the skill, but at the same time, you see that Ricardo is much more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he's the main part of the act.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler. I think he's a good wrestler. I just don't think he's. I think whenever his contract's up, I think he's going to take his bag and go home. And honestly, if I was him, I'd probably do the same thing. I want to get money.
Also, because once he goes back to Mexico, he can demand more money because he's already been a WWE champion.
Oh yeah,
he's got the prestige of that.
Right. So, I don't know. I think I think Christian would have benefited much more by getting the title. Yeah.
I agree, but I noticed that when we get to talk about Raw, what happens next. But I felt that overall as a match, it was a good match. I just felt that the stupidity of these little mistakes that shouldn't be done. Christian had him pinned, and no one even saw it. Most refs will go put their hand underneath the shoulders like they did in the CM Punk match. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Later on, the ref does check for shoulders. There's a difference. Good ref and bad ref. This is where Earl Hebner is needed. A professional, well-known ref who can handle championship title matches. Earl would have checked for that. He would have said, guys, lift your shoulders up. It would have been something, but we didn't get that.
Let's hope to see some Botchamania within the next few weeks.
All right, so I guess we unfortunately have to talk about it. Natalia with the Funkadactyls.
The Funkadactyls.
And Brie Bella with Ava and Nikki Bella. Now, was it Layla?
No, it's Nikki Bella.
No, it's Nikki. Who was with them? Who was that? Was the other
Eva Marie, right?
Eva Marie, right? I'm thinking of Raw.
The Total Diva girls.
Yes. So basically, what's very funny is that last week, Great Khali got his first win in about 7 years, and that was next to Natalia beating AJ. And you're sitting there going, did AJ just lose a match? She's killing Caitlyn. She's showing that she's this great wrestler, and she loses to Natalia? Wow, Natalia must be really doing good on Total Divas because she's winning a match.
I hate that show. In fact,
I know.
I gave that show about 20 minutes, then I turned it.
Oh, just stop it. It's a reality show. Just stop.
I hate reality shows, that's why.
I know, but that's what it is. But it's bringing I explained this to you. It's bringing the demographics for like that. The wrestling guy fan who's got the girlfriend who doesn't normally watch wrestling, but likes watching reality shows. Hey, check this out. Oh, wow, John Cena's kind of cute. Oh, wow, this girl's a bitch. Hey, I can get into this. Hey, baby, they're on Raw. Hey, I'll watch it. He's suckering in the same audience by going to different means, by adding a couple people.
Same audience for the Kardashians.
Oh,
yeah, basically,
started.
If you could bring those people in, well, think about this. When Snooki came and did the WrestleMania moment, and she did the triple backflip Swanton Whale Beach move, or whatever it was called, and, what you see, though, is, the reality show crossover. It's a TV show, they're a part of it, blah, blah, blah. I think WWE is a little more real than reality TV, but at the same time, it's fine. But this match, I don't even remember who won that match. Natalie won it, so she wins 2 matches in a row. She wins 2 matches in a row, and then you're like, wow, that's great, but it means nothing because it was a filler. But I'm glad they put it on early enough in the show.
I disagree. I think this is a contender for match of the year.
Okay.
I still think the best Divas match of the year is AJ versus Kaylin at Payback.
Oh, it was gorgeous. That was a great match. They had 2 back-to-back good matches.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, the reason why you put Natalie in that because you need something to kind of fill the space, something decent enough just to get it through, just so we can get to one is going to be one of the most hardest fought matches you've seen in a long time, which is Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. And now, we can say what we want about how Brock acted in the ring and did what he did, but you know what? At the end, he sold that match really well.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
It's the match of the year so far. What do you call it? It was the match of the night.
It was the match of the night, and you know what? They really showed it. Brock, as much as I keep not wanting to like Brock, he does put on these matches, and you go like, why do people let him keep wrestling? Well, he's not a Scott Steiner. He does job. He does sell, but he's called the Beast for a reason. He's not there to chain wrestle with you. He's there to friggin' hurt you.
Exactly.
And then you want to cheer for the other wrestler, be it like John Cena last year and CM Punk this year. You want to cheer for them to beat him.
Right.
Like Paul Heyman mentions that whole David and Goliath, and you sit there going, yeah, he cut CM Punk open. He threw him across tables. He smashed his back. He flung him. He dropped him. He did all this, but CM Punk kept coming back and looking strong.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a back-and-forth match. Go ahead, though.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of either of them, but it was a great match.
It was my favorite match of the night. Especially the spot where Brock Lesnar kept stomping on him over the top piece of the table.
Yeah, I mean, he just was being who he is. And now, Brock needed to win that match. It wasn't like CM Punk needed it because you want to further the story. If CM Punk beat him, you knew that where to go from there.
What is Brock Lesnar can't job every time.
Exactly. He has been jobbing too.
He jobbed to John Cena. He jobbed to Triple H at WrestleMania.
But he got his win back at Extreme Rules.
Right, he's got to win at least one match a year, right? I mean, come on.
Isn't that the part of the contract? I think is. But you know what? He didn't come in saying, "I'm not going to wrestle unless I win." He came in saying, "Look, I'm willing to work. Let's have some good matches, though. I don't want to work every week. I can't do that kind of a show, but I will give you everything I have." And he did. And when
he put on a great match, and credit to CM Punk for jobbing to him. I think that was great.
I don't think it was a total job, though, because the match went on for about 25 minutes.
But at the same time, at the end, nobody left that ring in one piece. Paul, Brock, Brock looked hurt. Yeah. Brock looked destroyed. That was the first time you've seen that, like in a long time with Brock Lesnar.
I was hurt watching it. What do you call it?
We're in the Papa John's hurt.
It was painful to watch. What do you call it? Like, oh my God, that hurts. Oh my God, that hurts.
Now, Bill didn't see the John Cena one.
I didn't.
Because that was a match that was very similar. But unfortunately, like I always explain with that match, then at the end, John Cena sits up and smiles and waves at the camera, and you can't do that. CM Punk barely stood up on his own. When you're doing a match and you went through war, you're not supposed to stand back up and salute. You're supposed to drag your body out. Remember with The Undertaker?
Oh, yeah. The Undertaker was literally carried out.
You have these matches. Like then when he beat Triple H the second time, he carried Triple H out. Like they didn't leave. Like, hey, they kind of.
John Cena is better than CM Punk, though. So.
John Cena is Hulk Hogan 2.0.
2.0. So.
Just without the ugly, nasty, burnt skin and porn.
But I'm a CM Punk guy, but I respect Cena.
But that's the thing. It was a great match, and like you have to say, it got the fans so good. Now here's the problem: that match left the fans drained, and then we come to Dolph Ziggler with Caitlyn and Big E Langston and AJ Lee. Now I have to admit that Dolph Ziggler is a great wrestler. I may not always like him, but we know he's good. And you know what? Big E is not horrible, but unfortunately, you can't put these guys on after that match.
I think I kind of understood why, because remember at WrestleMania where after it was Punk and Undertaker. They put on Triple H and Brock Lesnar right after. And then after that, it was Rock and Cena. I'm like, what happened to the Funkadactyls? Yeah, you know what I mean.
There was no time to breathe.
It wasn't.
No, the people were just. That's why the Triple H and Brock, right?
Yeah.
That match came off so bad because they was so drained. You have to pace it better.
I'll be really honest with you. What do you call it? They should have cut the Natalya Brie Bella match, and what do you call it? Then put the Dolph Ziggler match in that category, and then have Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, and then Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. I think that would have just been get
the momentum going.
If you're going, what do you call it? Don't give the audience time to breathe. Just keep on going.
But you like the thing with WrestleMania though, it was too many good matches in a row. You do need that break. So break that match, then the match. Problem is they were so hyped, and then now even though these guys are doing a decent match, no one wanted to watch this match. They were waiting for the Daniel Bryan match.
Yep.
And here we are, Dolph Ziggler. People do love him. Biggie was doing flips and jumps and spins, and no one cared.
No one cares. This is wrestling, not acrobats.
But no, that's fine. But it just not after what you just watched.
Right. Yep.
That's what the problem was.
It didn't do anything good for Dolph Ziggler or Big E Langston.
And they didn't do nothing good for AJ.
Right.
And they didn't do nothing good for Caitlyn. Right. None of this helped any of them.
The only thing I liked about that match was the spear Caitlyn gave to AJ. That was the only thing I liked about that match.
AJ can sell. AJ's great. The girls are great. I thought they're always good, but they just didn't have that. It just ended up being whatever, and I don't even care who won. So let's just move on.
Well, what do you call it? I mean, I remember very little about the match. I mean, that's how memorable it was.
Exactly. Well, then of course we come to the whole Daniel Bryan and John Cena match. Now I was a little disappointed, not with the match. I mean, I thought it was a good match. It was very good, and John Cena, him doing chain wrestling, and the little bit that John was able to do with his elbow injury, but I felt that it should have been more. I don't know, maybe because we had once again, the Brock and CM Punk match was just so much that no matter what they had here, I just felt like it wasn't where it should have been. Am I wrong? Did you guys have the same? What do you guys think?
Wait, Bill, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think it was a great match. What do you call it? I mean, I think, it was a little slower paced than I was expecting.
Which I expected a little bit more from, especially from Daniel Bryan.
Right. So, I mean, what do you call it? I expected a little bit more from them, but what do you call it? I mean, it is, John Cena was injured. What do you call it? There's not much
they wrestled really good. Don't get me wrong. They went the distance. It's just that I felt that it lost a little, some kind of steam or...
You think it lost the pace within the next 15 minutes after?
You know what? There was a point in the match when it first started that you were feeling great, then it kind of really leveled out, and then of course you were waiting for that ending to happen, and then you're just waiting for such a long time that you're waiting. Everyone knows that you're waiting for Triple H to betray somebody, or and I guess the anticipation for what was going to happen next outweighed what was happening in the ring at the current moment.
I don't know. What do you call it? I thought it was a good match. What do you call it? I'm not going to go with the screw job until Monday. But what do you call it? Because it was waiting too long. It was just waiting way too long, I think.
I thought it was sorry. I thought it was a good match also. Brian, do you think Brian carried him? Because I think so.
Well, you gotta say he is injured, so you gotta give John Cena the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I give him credit for that.
Yeah, you gotta carry. I mean, but John Cena had to carry an injured Rock for a whole entire match, so it's now his turn.
9 minutes into that match, and he's already tired. Get the hell out of here.
I wasn't disappointed with the match. I thought they put on a really good match. What do you call it? I think they worked well together. What do you call it? It seems like they're friends or whatever. So what do you call it? They put each other over pretty well.
They did. But towards the end of that match, it felt like I was playing WWE 13 with infinite finishers on.
Yeah, but you know what? That was fun, and that they started really picking it up there. You were waiting for Daniel Bryan to do his thing. Everyone's kicking out, they're going back and forth, and then finally, when he wins, you're just waiting, going, "All right, when's it going to happen?" and then they purposely waited long enough, and then when Randy Orton showed up, held the briefcase and going, all right, he's not going to do it tonight. And then you forget, how stupid are we to forget that it's Triple H in the ring? Like, what are we, stupid? You know he's going to do it.
Well, I thought the pay-per-view was going to come to a close after that confetti came out.
Oh, but wasn't that genius, though?
Yeah, it was.
It was so genius. They did the confetti. Everyone was on this high. Fans are going to go get the extra T-shirts, about ready to leave, and then Triple H just lays them out. Randy comes in, pins him, and he raises his hand. And you know what? It's showing that Triple H is ready to be Vince. You know, when eventually they need it to be. Because Vince can't keep doing it, you know? At least you know Triple H is still an active, able wrestler. That when you need him to be the bad boss guy later on, which is Vince's role is gone, he can do it. Bill?
I don't think he can. Honestly, there is only one Vince McMahon. And and if we go to the next night on Raw, Triple H, as good as he is, he doesn't have the personality to be the bad boss like Vince McMahon was.
Here's the thing: he can be himself, but he's also the cerebral assassin.
Right.
He is able to be a bad son of a gun.
Yeah, but he had no. I wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying him being the bad boss, I guess, on Raw. It's like, okay, this is just the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't mean when he's telling them, no, Daniel, come into the ring.
I can't lie. That had me laughing from start to finish.
Daniel's trying, and they're whooping his ass. Oh, come on. You can do this, get it. And then, they RKO'd. Like, he taunted. He was evil. But he was Triple H evil. He wasn't Vince evil. He's his own evil.
Yeah, I don't think he did it well though. It's like, okay, yeah, yeah, he's not gonna let him do this. He's not gonna let him do
So if Vince would have said that, then you think that would have been believable?
I think so. I think Vince, at least as the bad boss, has more personality. I think he's more dynamic.
Triple H has to take the reign, and it will have to happen.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I know it's going to happen, but this Monday just left me like, okay.
I actually have to disagree. Honestly,
I've had meaner bosses in in other places. This is like, really? This is what he's got? This is what he's bringing?
I thought it was all right. I thought
it was all right
too. He made it. You know what he was pulling? He was not pulling the mean boss. He was pulling the mean boss that pretends to be a friend boss. There's a difference. He's saying, you guys think I'm doing it, but I'm not. I'm doing what's best for the company, but I really like him. That's when they come to you, Bill, you're a great guy. I love you so much. But, we just don't have any room for you right now. And, he's doing the whole, gimmick from Office Space, where, we're going to move you to a smaller room. That's my red stapler type of thing. Right now, Daniel Bryan is looking for his red stapler.
Right, but if he's going to play that character, he should come off as acting more sincere, and he's not. He's coming off. You just see it a mile away. I mean, Daniel Bryan's not that stupid.
Of course not.
Well, that's not necessarily true. He still came out.
Than what Stephanie did earlier that night.
Right.
Oh, Steph is. My problem is.
I thought Steph did a really good job actually with that promo. I thought that was a lot better than Triple H. I think she pulled it off.
I can't stand Steph. I'm sorry. I tried my best. I just have no room for Steph. I really wish it was Shane, and that's my problem, because Shane would have done it better.
Oh, Shane would have done it better, absolutely.
Yeah, he would.
And I'm saddened that we'll never see that anymore.
Yeah.
You never know. What if he pops up Monday night on Raw? You'll just never know.
He's not going to. He's done. He sold his
shares. If he does, I will mark the frig out.
Me too.
Well, everybody will, because you want Shane, and you want Shane, and you prefer to have Shane, but it's just not going to happen. And okay, Raw being that we already talked about the ending of Raw, the whole point is that they let no wrestler came to the aid of Daniel Bryan.
No, and look how many wrestlers was actually standing out there by the Titans.
You had Christian, you had Mark Henry and Big Show, RVD was there. You had all these guys, and no one came to the aid.
Not a single person.
Now, they never said...
Not even Fatty in the audience.
You're talking about the one saying Punk
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he should have helped because apparently, if he doesn't like CM Punk, he has to like Daniel Bryan, but he didn't try to help. You know what? He's a jerk. He is a fatty. But when it comes over to it, you watch it on that stage, and Christian didn't help, RVD didn't help. Now CM Punk wasn't there, and neither was John Cena. But don't forget, they're also playing up the whole injury gimmick, so they're not there. But there's guys there that, you could tell me Mark Henry and Big Show want to beat up the Shield, but they didn't come help for Daniel Bryan just to fight the Shield? Like, there was no explanation. Now, no one was on that stage was told that if you interfere, you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to play.
All they said was just let you guys, you got to stay there. We want Daniel Bryan to come out. No one touched Daniel Bryan. But when the Shield were beating him up, there's guys on that stage who want to kill the Shield.
Exactly. I'm like, how could they be afraid of them or not try to gang up on them? I'm like,
what they should at least had
15 or 20.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It should have been like Christian, RVD, Big Show, and Mark Henry should have tried to come, and then they could say, if you come in closer, you're all fired. That would make them hesitate. You know, but there was they didn't do
one line that could have been written in the script. That's it.
Make those guys. You want to build Big Show and Mark Henry to be this next tag team guys. If they would have tried to help Daniel, the fans would have went nuts.
Exactly.
And they didn't do any of that. And that's where I feel that promo really lost steam, was that made no sense. It wasn't like it was a guy they didn't like. It wasn't like they were bringing to the ring a guy they all hated, It was a guy that was supposed to be respected. You can see the heel guys not wanting to help, but come on. They were like, Big Show's like, yep, we're going to beat up the Shield. Don't worry, we're going to get those titles. Hey, look, the Shield beat up this poor guy. You want to just exact some revenge on him? Nah. You go and help RVD in the pre-show yesterday, but you won't help Daniel Bryan.
In that case, let's bring in the great Khalid then.
Oh, he karate chop everybody. But by the time he gets to the ring, everyone would have left the arena. The lights would have been out.
It would have been over already, before it even happened. And that's Cesaro saying that in 7 different languages.
But with all that being said, that I felt that I think one of the great things is that what are they going to do with Alberto Del Rio, and now RVD comes out with Rodrigo. I personally think that was a great idea. For some reason, I originally thought when what was his name?
Roberto Rodriguez.
Ricardo Rodriguez. When Ricardo Rodriguez came out and he started talking, I thought he was going to come out to We the People. For some reason, I was like expecting to see Zeb Coulter, like Cesaro and Jack Swagger show up for some reason, the way he was talking about it. But then when RVD showed up, I'm going, I like this. He could be the new Bill Fonz. He could be Fonzie. He could be the new Fonzie.
See, I don't get it. What do you call it? Because I don't think RVD needs I don't think he needs anybody.
I don't think so.
But you know why?
I mean, it looks like our pair, but let's see how this will work.
But do you know why I like it? I'll tell you why I like it. Because we can finally get the Van Terminator done the right way, and Ricardo could hold it. Hold the chair.
He can do.
That's all he needs to do.
Rolling Thunder too, right?
I actually like Ricardo. I think if Alberto Del Rio leaves, like you guys say, I hope they keep Ricardo. I think he's very useful and will be very. You need guys like that. You need managers. You need mic guys. You need guys like them to be around. I think he's really good at it, and he does better promos than Alberto could ever wish to do. So, having him team up with RVD, he can cost Alberto the title, and I would like that. I think it would work.
If that happens, I'll see that coming a mile away. A mile further away than Bret Hart's 4 out of 10 interview.
But you know what, though? I'm going to tell you something about that, though. Me and Julian talked about this earlier. Was when Vince kept changing the script every time a pay-per-view would happen, because spoilers online would figure it out. Predictability doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah.
Just because something's predictable doesn't mean it can't be enjoyable. Just because you see it from a mile away doesn't mean it's going to be a bad match or a bad,
Well,
yeah, of course.
I would say, if you want support, why bother ordering the pay-per-view then? What do you call it? if you already know what's going to happen, it's like, all right, what do you call it then?
No, but that's not true. Watching the show is not the same as reading about the show. And sometimes if a match is so good, you have to watch it.
Exactly.
And you know what? Well, you can explain to people about Brock and CM Punk. But if they don't watch it for themselves, you're not going to get the same impact as reading it.
Yeah, that came up to the point of brought up a few days ago. Even though SmackDown is taped most times, I still watch the show.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Even though TNA gave spoilers for a week later and we couldn't give a rat's ass, you're still going to check it out just to see for yourself with your own eyes.
Right.
You know, you want to see what happens, and that's what about wrestling is great. You watch wrestling to check out the things, even though you know the spoilers, or you could, you know what, things are predictable. You know, when Hacksaw Jim Duggan shows up to the ring with a 2x4, he might hit somebody. You know what? It's predictable, but when he does it, you still go, yay. You know, it's not a bad thing. Jake the Snake comes with a ring with a snake. You know, if he doesn't pull out the snake, that would be different. You know,
that's true. What do you call even movie spoilers? Okay, wait, it's such a bad movie. No, I got to see this to see how bad it is.
You know, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
With anything it is, you still want to give your own take on it because you might find something different. Like, here's the three of us talking, and there's many times we've all disagreed with each other on what we felt about certain matches. And now if I explained to you, if you guys weren't watching this, I explained the pay-per-view to you, you still would want to formulate your own opinion. Yeah. And the best way of doing it is by watching it.
Of course.
Even if we go and say, we knew that was going to happen. Oh, yeah? But how it happened is different.
Yeah, you got to see a storytelling in the match instead of just reading the results and make a final decision.
Well, I just want to tell you guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on. This has been really cool. We'll do this more often. I would like to do it every so often more.
Of course, I have fun.
Yeah, it's also really cool just to know that the fact that, you know, I didn't think Summerslam was a bad pay-per-view. People kept asking the rating. I just couldn't rate it. I don't think it was a 10 out of 10. I don't think it was an 8 out of 10 because of stupidity with the referees, the uselessness of the pre-show match, the unnecessity of the opening match, and of course, like you said, the Natalia match just wasn't needed. If they would have streamlined it a bit.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm fine with that score. There's things in the pay-per-view that they could have done better, but everything's better in hindsight than it is live.
Speaking of pay-per-views, the word came out today that Money in the Bank, the number for that went extremely up higher than the last one. The buy rate.
Oh, yeah, the buy rate was high?
Yeah.
Because of RVD?
Honest to God, I bet you it probably would have been.
I mean,
they
RVD in Philadelphia? You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Also, that if you would have told people what match to watch in that thing, no one would have ever thought the Cody Rhodes thing. They would have all thought the other one with RVD and all the champs.
Right. Cody Rhodes stole the show in that match.
You see what I'm saying? Like, once again, you would not expect that, even though you know who was going to win, and it's predictable, but then when you watch the match, you can't believe what you just saw. That's what I'm talking about. These are the things we can't help. Now, really quick, let's go through this with you guys. I want to thank you guys for being on. Now, Julian, tell people about your little video show that you do. What's the name of it?
Oh, it's the Dark Fox Show. I've done it on Facebook a bit, but I will do it on YouTube coming soon. I do video game reviews, wrestling topics, and movie reviews as well.
All right, and now what is your Twitter name?
Julian Excalibur.
All right. And Bill, basically you do all the writing. You put all the press stuff on my site. But let people know your Twitter name and all that.
What is my Twitter name?
You got it already? Did the Wyatt family get you?
It's WPLNYC.
So if you want to follow any of us, that's our name. I'm of course at AltMinds, ALTMINDZ, and this has been Speaking Geeks podcast. I've done one of these forever. And guys, if you have any questions, just email me at rob@alternativeminds. You can email Julian at julian@alternativeminds.com. It's with the .com, of course. If you have any questions for us, you want to know anything, the best way to do it is by emailing us. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, any statements, you don't agree with us, you don't like us, just let us know. And until next time, guys, thanks for being on.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.